The street may be fundamentally underestimating how a dual-engine earnings season will redefine institutional capital rotation over the next 90 days. As nearly 28 S&P 500 companies prepare to report this week, the spotlight isn't just on top-line growth. It is on how elite corporations are insulating their margins in a changing macroeconomic landscape. This corporate reporting cycle will separate fragile businesses from dominant cash flows. Let's begin with JP Morgan Chase. This financial giant occupies a unique structural position, acting as the primary anchor for global corporate liquidity. Its core moat is built on a massive, low-cost deposit base and an unmatched investment banking franchise. This scale allows them to navigate changing credit cycles with minimal disruption, capturing market share while competitors face funding pressures. But that is only part of the story. On the digital side, Netflix represents a completely different structural moat. The pioneer of streaming has successfully pivoted from pure subscriber acquisition to a highly profitable, free cash flow positive business model. By scale charging its vast international audience and optimizing production expenses, the company has built a reliable cash machine that competitors are struggling to match. Here's where the margin metrics become interesting. JP Morgan's upcoming quarterly results will offer a direct look into net interest margin trends. While high rates originally boosted interest earnings, the rising cost of retaining deposits is beginning to squeeze net interest spreads. Watch closely for how their asset-liability mix has shifted over the last quarter to sustain returns. Now look at how the digital media sector is reacting to similar margin pressures. Netflix is moving in the opposite direction. By rolling out ad-supported tiers and curbing password sharing, they are expanding operating margins toward 20%. This transition from a high-burn content cycle to high-margin monetization is exactly what institutional analysts look for in a mature market leader. The next signal comes from management's capital allocation. Under Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan has historically treated its balance sheet as a fortress. As regulators raise capital requirements, the firm is likely to balance share buybacks against conservative liquidity reserves. This disciplined capital allocation prepares them for any credit disruption while keeping capital returns resilient. Something important is happening here with Netflix's capital allocation as well. Rather than overspending on speculative movies, they are focusing on high ROI regional programming and live sports licensing. This controlled content reinvestment allows them to generate steady free cash flow, giving them the flexibility to reduce debt and execute significant share buybacks. The broader macro environment is shifting. The Federal Reserve's interest rate path directly impacts how banks manage their liquid assets. If rates remain elevated, capital may migrate from traditional accounts into higher-yielding money market funds. This asset migration forces banks to offer higher rates on deposits, creating a challenging environment for regional players while benefiting scale leaders. At the same time, the streaming industry is undergoing a major consolidation wave. Rising production costs and high customer churn are forcing weaker players to bundle services or cut back on new projects. This industry stress plays directly into Netflix's hands. Their scale allows them to acquire premium licensed content at discounted rates, solidifying their position as the industry's default platform. That leads us to a bigger question regarding terminal risk. For JP Morgan, the primary threat is a potential increase in credit defaults across corporate and commercial real estate portfolios. While their reserves are substantial, any sudden rise in non-performing loans would require them to increase credit loss provisions, impacting net income and slowing down capital deployment. For Netflix, the main risk lies in global consumer budget constraints. If persistent inflation forces households to cut non-essential spending, subscription platforms could see higher churn rates. This makes their lower-priced ad-supported tier vital. It serves as an essential safety net to keep budget-conscious subscribers on the platform. This macro backdrop forces a broader valuation reassessment across the S&P 500. Institutional managers are looking past near-term earnings beats to focus on forward guidance. Companies with high capital costs and weak pricing power are seeing valuations adjust downward, while resilient firms with solid free cash flow continue to attract capital. This brings us to our tactical playbook for the week. We are placing high-performing financials on a breakout watch. They are showing strong relative strength and potential for capital appreciation as the credit cycle stabilizes. Conversely, select high-flying tech names are under trim consideration as their multiples outpace actual earnings growth. In summary, the key indicator to watch this week is the balance between net interest income stability at major banks and operating margin expansion in consumer tech. These metrics will clarify where institutional capital is likely to rotate during the next phase of the market cycle. To stay ahead of these structural shifts, make sure you are subscribed to SR Money News. We track institutional data and long-term macro trends to keep you informed. Join our investor community by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and sharing your thoughts on this earnings season in the comments below.